My name is Valentine Barker, and I draw cute, curvy femme characters being sassy and ridiculous. Oh, I've always drawn. I remember drawing when I was like very young, 4 or 5, and then looking back a year later at my growth and being like, there was a real sense of accomplishment that I felt for the first time and just wanted to keep seeing how far I could push myself. No, this is my first year. I find it to be a really great show. My most popular would be like my Like a Girl series of prints. And then I have a comic that I did with my wife about death and depression and what happens to the voices in your head after you die. Just the amount of comics in the room. I'm used to doing a lot of pop culture conventions where there are Funko Pops and keychains, and seeing all of the actual art and comics on display has been really great. The people have been really kind and supportive, which is really great to see. Website is valentinebarker.com, or I'm at Valentine Barker on Blue Sky.
Hey, Ashwin. I've been doing comics online for about 20 years now. Currently, I'm doing a series called Widdershins, which I've been doing since 2011. I'm about 40 pages off finishing it as well, which is like really cool and a bit terrifying. But yeah, so I draw and I write this, and I'm also an editor for sometimes for Iron Circus Comics. So I help do anthologies and things such as that. Well, I've always been interested in comics. When I was doing my GCSEs, I started picking up manga, and that was like new at the time. Because this was like, a long time ago. I wouldn't say how long. So for my GCSEs, I was like doing like giant panels from like blown up panels from like Ram and a Half and things like that. And so that was when I really got started getting fascinated with it. And I went to uni and I did not art, did linguistics. But while I was doing that, I was drawing comics the whole time, and I started putting them online in about 2003 or so. I don't know, surprisingly, people started reading them, so I kept going with it. And, I finished the comic I was doing then, and at that point, I was kind of like, well, I could give a go of doing it full time, so I did. And as a result, I've ended up doing this, and I've done some work for the Phoenix, I've done some work for Dandy, and yeah, it's some work begets more work, so you just end up in comics. I've exhibited at Thought Bubble since, I think, 2011, so a fair while. So back when it was in Leeds and in the Armories, and through the time when it was in City Centre, and now when we're in Harrogate. And the festival has grown hugely since. I don't even know how many tables there are now. So yeah, just watching it grow and flourish has just been incredible. It's been really cool to be part of that, even if, just one table among many. It's fantastic. I'll show you the first one in my series, which is my series called Widdershins. It's a sort of kind of Indiana Jones with magic kind of series. So each one is a complete story. And this is the first one. It's all about a grumpy bounty hunter and a magician who accidentally becomes the king of thieves. And so it's very silly, very historically inaccurate, kind of big adventure, goofy time. And you can actually read it online as well at widdershinscomic.com. I mostly have some new stickers this year. At the moment, I'm working on the final one of these. As I say, I'm about 40 pages off the end. So I don't quite have it done yet, but this time next year I will. Oh my gosh. It's got to be the crowds, honestly. Like the feeling of everyone here you get a really nice chat with. It's not a thing you get at every other convention, honestly. Yeah, it's the crowd, it's the vibe, just the general feel of it. It's really hard to sort of encapsulate in words until you're here. But yeah, Thought Bubble's like no other. It really is. You can find my webcomic at widdershinscomic.com. And you can find me on social media at Kate Draws Comics generally. So I'm on Blue Sky, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Tumblr still. And yeah, that's me.
Well, I'm Yuki Clarke. I am a cartoonist and illustrator based in Charm City, Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, USA. I primarily make original work, sci-fi comics, with my primary being the Rita and Josie series. I have one book up here. Well, my journey becoming an artist started very early. My mom always told me that I burnt through notebooks like nobody's business as a child, and I got introduced to comics through visiting my grandparents' house and seeing the comics in the newspaper or the comics that my uncle left behind, and really just starting to grow and gain that passion from it. Yes, this is my second year. This is my first year as a table under my name. I headed a table last year as part of the Cartoonist Cooperative, and that was really fun. It was a group table, and now I'm here as myself with my friend Jen. Yeah, so I can show you two main things. The first thing is the comic I mentioned. It's a one-shot, kind of book one in a series of Rita and Josie exploring this mysterious spaceship. So 20 pages, full color. This is kind of the most popular thing. I also have a kind of a companion zine to it. So this is doodles, drawing, concept art, things that I tried working on in the preparation for this to be made. I love the community and I love the vibes with Thought Bubble. It's such a nice, strong, warm community and convention. Seeing all different people, meeting new people, and seeing a bunch of familiar faces that I know. On social media, I'm easiest to find on Instagram and Blue Sky. I'm at Yuki Clarke on Instagram and at yukiclarke.com. On Blue Sky. My website is yukiclarke.com, and that's going to be the best places to find me. I'm Rob Luckett. I'm a writer, illustrator, and I guess I also make some 3D printed stuff with my own things now. My brand name is Lucketopia, and I do all ages comics. Largely, but I started branching out into a bit more teen-focused stuff. And we've got an anthology that's for mature readers only this year as well. I've been making comics from a young age. I remember making a rip-off of the Samurai Pizza Cat when I was about 8 or something. And I was stapling things together and trying to sell them at school. I think I fell out of comics when I went through a rough period as a teenager and stuff like that. The indie scene didn't exist when I was a teenager. This sort of whole small press thing sort of started up in the 2000s or what have you. And I started seeing small press comics pop up in comic shops. So I was like, oh wow, I didn't know this is a thing that you could get printed for affordable prices. Because when you had to try and get stuff printed like a comic before, it'd be you'd be quoted thousands of pounds. Whereas the more boutique printers that turned up, I can now do this for hundreds of pounds, which is a lot more affordable, and it's obviously exploded creativity everywhere, as you can see. This is my 10th Thought Bubble in a row, 10 years. We came to one just as punters in 2014. I was like, this exploded my mind. I need to be here. I've been living in Leeds for many years, but I've been accidentally missing Thought Bubble by being on holiday or being completely broke. And I was like, right, okay, this is the year we're doing it. And the next year I was like, right, have some stuff, let's do it. And we got a table, and we've been running ever since. Comstorm is now 10 years old. It's been running. This is my all ages comic for kids about a super powered fart little tyke called Guff Comstorm. Been a huge hit with the kids. I'm almost out of singular copies, and I'll be collecting it next year. And this year we've got a new comic called World War Console about a video game console war that's gone very literal, with all the hardware being game control up in the heads and stuff like that. And I've started 3D printing my own things as well. Some of them are available to buy, the miniatures, because everyone had to get a new hobby over COVID. Mine was a new level of mania that was old sculpt things and 3D print them and surrounded myself with odd objects. It's the second issue of World War Console is new today. Well, not new today, but new yesterday. And I've also, we got from mature readers only, anthology with a lot of my friends here today, headed up by Mark Penman, called Greb, about little goblin guys, horrible little goblin guys, filled with a rogues gallery of talent. And for that, I also 3D printed 13 of these to give out to everyone that was in the anthology and pass them around so people can go on a Greb hunt. There's a sticker format where you can collect all of our grisly visages to sell it out, and hopefully then go home and enjoy the, it's got a very finely sculpted rear end. That was where I largely had to focus my attention. And that's most of what I've got new for the con, as well as a poster of Ed, Edd and Eddy versus Regular Show. My wife Rachel Luckett, but back in the day it was called Rachel Connor, worked on Ed, Ed and Eddie, and we wrote some regular show graphic novels together. Now sadly out of print, but we continue the memory with like prints and things like that to have fun with it still. I'm Rob Luckett on pretty much everything. Luckett with 2 T's. I've got a website, luckettopia.com. I'm on most things, Instagram, Blue Sky. That's pretty much the only 2 I hit up these days.
I am Lucia, Kitsune Art, and I'm a comic artist mostly and also illustrator on the side. Well, it started with like Sailor Moon. I started watching the anime and I was like blown away, and then I discovered mangas. And I was like, okay, this is what I wanted to do. So I started trying more stuff as a self-taught, and I did a little course here and there. And then when I came to London, like I'm from Italy originally. And when I moved to London, I was like, okay, I started finding a little small press comics and like the community. And I started to self-publish my comics. And this is how I hand out. I never stopped since. Yeah, this is my 3rd time here at the Bubble, and I'm always having a great time. So I'm happy to be back again. Yeah, it's difficult to choose a favorite with my babies. I just like, these are the new ones for this year. So this is Through the Looking Glass, and it's basically a sci-fi retelling of Alice Through the Looking Glass from Alice in Wonderland. And it's basically a very anti-AI comic, and it's mostly like thinking Matrix, Inception, and then I did like a little silly thing about my pencil case, Pierre-Antoine François de Sassy-Cat. So it's a really silly backstory of my sidekick. Honestly, the vibes are immaculate. Like, I really love how people that comes to comics first and foremost, and coming here like it's my 3rd year. It's just like really cool that you get to meet people that came anyway before, and so they're like, oh, I bought this one, so I bought this, so what is new this year? And I'm like, oh my god, I'm blown away that people remembers me and that also want to buy more from me. So, and also everybody is so friendly, like the people that you get to have as a table neighbor, they're always helpful, and I don't know, it's really my favorite conventions of all the UK, so I'm happy to be back every year. I'm mostly active on Instagram and Blue Sky, so it's at Kitsune Art. And yeah, you can find me there on my website. It's kitsuneart.net, so if you want to find any of my comics. And yeah, that's it.
So my name's Ben. I'm a comic artist and writer and student at the Comic Art Graphic Novel Masters at Leeds Art University. Doing it full time, so it's in my 1st and last year. I always drew a lot when I was a kid, just sort of a lot of cats, because we had cats when we were growing up. And then my dad brings home a copy of Hellboy, and all of a sudden, it's just Mike Mignola's in my brain. Did a bunch of like storytelling stuff, like I did a few short books about crocodiles and pheasants when I was about 7, illustrated. I grew up in the lakes. At school, one of my teachers was involved in the Lakes International Comic Art Festival. So she saw my work and gave me all these resources and told me all this stuff. Then I signed up with the CCA Bachelors. I've been coming here for years now. It's amazing. So this is probably my favorite comic that I've got, called Crimson Lass. It's a story about a cult sort of forcing this woman into being a witch. And I felt like it was sort of a horrifying story with maybe an important message behind it. Some people might be able to relate to. We're going to like a diary kind of format, strange imagery with a lot of fire and some magic at the end. Probably the range of things that are here. You can wander around the halls for the whole weekend and you'll still maybe get about 30% that you haven't seen. And it's just, everyone's got such a unique range of things. And they're also friendly. You know, I'm yet to meet someone rude. On my contact cards, we've got the @Thornton_comics. That's my personal one. And then I think this MA is tagging onto the LAU Comic and Concept Art Instagram. So that's where you can find more information about the course.
name is Jay. I'm a third year in Leeds Concept Comic Art course. When I first joined the course, I considered myself predominantly a concept artist, but over those 3 years, I've tried doing both parts of the course. I think I now consider myself about like 50-50 between the pair of them. Moving forward, I do think I want to focus more on comics though. I want to focus like really stereotypical people who say, oh, I've been drawing since I was a child. The only thing that's really changed is that when I was a kid, I wanted to do fashion and like make clothes and draw pretty girls all the time. Still want to draw pretty girls all the time. Now it's not just the clothes I want to design. I want to design the entire world, from the people, the environment, so that then the story can be a complete thing and not just an item of fashion. This is my first experience exhibiting at Nikon, not just Thought Bubble. Though, as far as first experiences go, I think this is a really good one, if only because I've got the guarantee that I'm working with other people, with a whole community, with a community of people who are just as interested in selling, both for our fellow artists, our fellow students, but also for the course and to promote the course. One of our friends made this comic last year to sell, and I know it's a little bit like, oh, nepotism, they got their friends to promote it, but like genuinely, the pair of them are such dedicated artists and such cool storytellers that even if I wasn't their friend, I still want to promote it. I think because this is a comic-specific convention, I know that when I come here, I'm going to be finding a lot of things, like both independent comics, but also I can find things Marvel, I can find things DC. I know I'm going to find IP I like here versus a less specialized convention where it's just anything at all could be there. I know the university has an Instagram, and our course has an Instagram as well.